Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's Grandstand, we're going to talk about Ohio constitutional carry, baby. Something that I personally spent over a year of my life to help get passed under the Ohioans for Firearms Freedom moniker, and eventually what led to the creation of Ohio Patriot Education Network on June 13th of 2022. We will be celebrating our 2-year anniversary this coming June. We'll also be celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Ohioans for Firearms Freedom the same day, which technically it was kind of created before that, but that's the day I recognize it as now because it's just easier to have it be recognized on Constitutional Carry Day is all, you know. But yeah, we were definitely doing that stuff before that is what it was of 2021. So, but yeah, so basically we're going to talk about constitutional carry actually made major cities less violent in this state for the last year and a half or so, give or take. And a couple other different stories we're going to talk about as well on that one. We got another one about some Confederate flag sparking Ohio controversy, or controversy in Ohio City. Here's what it is. And then we're also going to talk about some transgender related stuff is what it is. Just because I thought it was interesting and it kind of relates to what I've been talking about for a couple years now is what it is there. So anyway, to start out with, we obviously have the first article at hand, which is the major story of the day here that this is based on, which is Ohio says change to concealed carry law did not bring violent crime to Buckeye State. Then it says 6 of Ohio's 8 largest cities saw less gun crime after the state's constitutional carry law took effect. Imagine my shock. You mean people who were going to carry anyway, you know, and then got charged because they were mishandling of firearms in a motor vehicle or some other stupid bullshit law that was on the books then. No longer caught those charges after the fact. Because, shocker, they were carrying illegally under constitutional carry is what it was. So, yeah, it's a bunch of BS, dude, entirely. And that's the real problem entirely is how that shit was set up. Because, honestly, when you look at, and this is exactly why when I fought for constitutional carry in the state 2 years ago, why I was fighting to actually have rights restoration put directly into it and fighting specifically for the people who had their rights fucked over, like shit like that. One thing where it was them being in a vehicle, whatever the case be, and now all of a sudden they cut a charge for having a gun in the vehicle because it was quote unquote concealed or whatever the case be, concealed carry license or whatever it was. And then they caught a misdemeanor firearms motor vehicle charge is what it was, which is a low level felony in the state is what it is. It's like 5th or 4th degree felony. One of the two. But yeah, it's a bunch of shit either way, dude. And that's the whole point entirely. So yeah, they should have 100% had their rights restored immediately is what it is there. But anyways, said according to a study published today by the Center of Justice Research, a partnership between the Ohio Attorney General's Office of Dave Yost and the Bowling Green State University, said beginning June 13, 2022, Ohio became the 23rd state, which, by the way, had Dickless DeWine actually given a shit about the Second Amendment in this state, he would have actually had them put a caveat in that legislation and signed it on the first day of 10 days they had ability to sign it, which, by the way, when in reality, when that was actually signed into place there, it was really legitimately like about 12 days he actually had to sign is what it was there because of weekends and other days like that is what it was. Like, I think there's a holiday in there too, if I'm not mistaken. So, and of course, he signed it on the final day, which by then you had Georgia, specifically Georgia Governor Brian Kemp at the time, who was running for re-election, came out of nowhere and was like, hey, we're going to pass this shit immediately on the spot. And so you had Georgia fuck us over for the 22 and 22 moniker, which actually DeWine fucked the entire GOP over in this state because if he could have actually had a situation where he could have signed that stuff on day number 1, they could have put an appropriation thing into it for something or other to make it go into effect immediately is what it was. And then you could have had every single Republican that put their name to that legislation to begin with run for re-election on the 22 and 22 moniker being pro-2A is what it is. That's what pisses me off the most of all, honestly, dude, because we should have been 22 and 22 is what it would have been. I even made the t-shirts for it, but unfortunately it didn't happen is what it was. So anyway, I think some of them are still in the short store, actually, if I'm not mistaken, that I had from my the store that I had for the network a while ago is what it was now. When I was trying to run for governor last year, and then other various things. Obviously, I dropped down to state senate, and then eventually I didn't get on the ballot at all is what it was. That's besides the point. But yeah, it said on June 13, 2022, Ohio became the 23rd state to allow citizens to carry a concealed firearm without a permit, obviously for 21 and over is what it is. you have to be specific which one I went over because it's fucked over 18, 19, and 20-year-olds now because of that. So in the year following, crime involving guns dropped across Ohio's 8 largest cities as a whole, and in 6 of the 8 individually. Said, quote, "This is not to downplay the very real problem of crime in many neighborhoods in our cities. You don't need to research a research team to see that, quote, gun violence destroys lives, families, and opportunity," said Dave Yost. Well, it's not really, that's the problem. Even Yost saying that terminology, gun violence, it's not really the gun being violent, dude. It's the criminal behind it is what it is. It's just, you could have them have anything in their hand at that point. A knife, a fucking shoe. They could have a baseball bat. Hell, they could have a bare fist and beat you to death with it, for God's sakes. You know, it's why when you look at the FBI statistics in this country every year, you have more people beaten to death with bare fists and feet and shit than with any firearm of any type is what it is, man. So, yeah, it's not really a gun violence issue. It's a violence issue. And it's a violence issue of specifically certain groups in this fucking country that happen to go with, you know, certain races specifically is what it is. And I'll leave it at that. You know, we've all seen it, man. We've all seen the hate crimes in this country. It's not a bunch of white guys walking around doing the shit. It's a bunch of very dark-skinned motherfuckers, unfortunately, that just want to be a bunch of criminals for some reason. I don't know why, man. It's the same people that commit 50% of the homicides in this nation, dude. Anyway, it said, U.S. continuing on, said the key takeaway from the study is that we have to keep the pressure on the criminals who shoot people rather than Ohioans who responsibly exercise their Second Amendment rights. Said last year, mayors of several large cities blamed crime in their local communities on the change of state law. Comments that were the impetus for the study, Yost said, quote, "I genuinely did not know what the study would find," he said. "I thought it would be a useful thing either way." Then so the study, which explored the relationship between permitless carry and crime involving firearms in the state's 8 most populous cities, demonstrates that the law change is not the problem, said the Attorney General's office. Researchers analyzed data spanning from June 2021 to June 2023, a year before and a year after the law took effect, focusing on crimes involving firearms, verified gunshot detection alerts, to be the shot spotter stuff, and the number of officers struck by gunfire, said Center for Justice Research Director Melissa Burke, who has a doctorate in criminal justice, led the research, said the study showed significant decreases in the number of crimes involving firearms in Akron, Columbus, and Toledo, and across all cities combined. The rate of gun crime in Parma fell the most by 22%, followed by Akron and Toledo, each with a decrease of 18%. Rates in Dayton and Cincinnati increased by 6% and 5% respectively, which makes sense because, again, if you actually look at who's living in these places and stuff too, like specifically Dayton and Cincinnati, dude, again, majority black. And I'm just going to say it like this, dude. And like Latino and everything else like that is what it is. It's basically a bunch of non-white races what it is in those places, dude, for the most part, the major city areas there. So it's like the same thing in Cleveland. You know, you got a black mayor and fucking mostly black city council, and they're one of the biggest fucking crime areas in this entire state, dude. You got the fucking Kia boys up there like crazy going around stealing people's cars and shit. So yeah, it's not a white problem, period, dude, in this country or in the state. It's a fucking minority problem, 100%. So anyway. And again, if these people really wanted to do better, they would do better, honestly, but they don't want to do better is what it is. One thing I thought was interesting, though, with this whole thing, and this is something I'm going to talk about right now, actually, which is specifically this piece right here that was talking about House Bill 272, which I actually had to look this up. What did that? Because I knew it was on the thing is what it was. Yeah, that's exactly who it is, man. Nah, it's the opposite of that.
In the meantime, in Columbus, a group of Ohio lawmakers are working on a plan to expand gun rights in the state. The House passed a bill that's now heading to the Senate, and it would change where you can carry a firearm as well as regaining your right to have one. News reporter Sartaj Singh joins us live in the studio, digging deeper into what is in that bill. Sartaj?
Well, House Bill 272 is proposing some changes to concealed carry laws as well as some gun ownership rights, but there's still a lot that needs to be done if the bill has a chance to pass it in the Senate.
Should just pass out clean,
House Bill
man.
272 will now make its way to the Senate with some proposed changes when it comes to carrying firearms. The bill would amend sections of the Ohio Revised Code that would allow handguns in buildings that have a courtroom, as well as permit non-residents to obtain relief from firearm disability.
That second part, by the way, the non-resident thing, that's what's going to end up changing this into a probably Supreme Court case at some point if it does pass into law, because you'd have basically Ohio restore rights, whereas other states would still be fucking these people over out of their gun rights, is what it is. So
first proposal would change a statute that banned handguns in non-courthouses that have courtrooms.
It only includes buildings that have a courtroom but have other functions as well. Now, if it's just a courthouse with just a courtroom, then you wouldn't be able to carry.
Dr. Mark Clausen is a professor of history law at Cedarville University. He says the proposed bill has some specifics that need to be ironed out. For instance, if the bill passes and you carry a gun while court is in session, you would be breaking the law.
You inadvertently get out of your car.
God, that was a Supreme Court XD.
The tax office to pay your taxes, but you forgot you have your gun with you, right? And the court's in session, but you didn't know the court was in session because you didn't look it up beforehand.
The other part of the bill would allow those
with
firearms disability to apply for statutory relief, even if they are outside of the county or even out of the state. But Clausen says other state laws will have to be taken into account.
Do other, not just states, but it's counties, cities, do they recognize what other places have done in terms of allowing you to possess guns and so forth? If they have their own different laws, you could really get caught in a trap there.
The bill will now have to get through the Senate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think it's not going to be that you're going to get caught in a trap or whatever. It's that you're going to have multiple states. It would be like basically 10th Amendment rights sort of intersecting with each other on a bunch of different state levels, what it is there. And I think would essentially lead to eventually a situation of having basically multiple states have Supreme Court challenges. It would be then. Or some people be like, hey, Ohio passed this, let's get the shit on the books or whatever the case be. Like, we should be able to have a registered store here in New York or, you know, Pennsylvania or Indiana or Idaho or Tennessee or Kentucky, wherever the case be, or New Jersey for that matter. And it might be a situation like that, honestly, where it was this person was born in this state and then they're just trying to basically do it in another state or whatever the case be. And then it leads to like this whole challenge thing across the board where you would have to have like case precedent being set, basically, is what it is. So I don't know how I feel about that one, honestly. It is weird, and I actually looked up the bill then. This is the actual what has passed so far in the General Assembly currently, which is House Bill 272. It would amend sections of revised code to allow a concealed handgun licensee to carry a handgun in a building or structure that is not a courthouse, but which a court is located in specific circumstances, and to permit a non-resident of Ohio to obtain statutory relief from firearms disability, so basically get the rights restored, based on the Ohio conviction, guilty plea, or delinquent child adjudication. So here's my problem with this whole thing entirely, dude, because it's specifically stated as concealed handgun licensee, but yet we're a constitutional carry state, dude. So you're essentially saying you have to have a concealed carry license to even be carrying in that building to begin with, when you're directly infringing upon my rights as someone who doesn't have that thing in a state that has constitutional carry on the books for 1.5 years now. So yeah, like even the way that they're writing this shit is fucking retarded, honestly, dude, because it should just say any Ohioan that is not that doesn't have a disqualifier should be able to carry in these places, period. And that's what it should be across the board anyway. Like, we shouldn't have gun-free zones in the state at all, man, is what it is. Or in this country, for that matter. And that's one thing I would definitely like to see them fight for, legitimately. But yeah, it's interesting who actually was the ones behind this one. It was two new guys named Adam Matthews and Justin Pezzel, who were the guys who were actually the primary sponsors of the legislation. And then we had Tim Barhos, is a first-term state rep, Sarah Carruthers, Gary Click, Rodney Creech, John Cross, Al Catrona, who's a known 2A and even knife rights advocate and stuff like that in the state. He's I don't know if I'd call him a constitutionalist per se, but he's definitely a fighter for Second Amendment and other similar rights for that matter, which would be this dude right here, this Alexandro Catrona. Jay Edwards was on this, Jennifer Gross, Tom Hall, Brett Hudson-Hillner, Adam Holmes, Mark Johnson, Don Jones, Daryl Kick, Mike Loychek, who is a 2A fighter, Royden McLean, Kevin Miller, who's one of the guys that was appointee. I reckon know Gene Schmidt's on this one because she's a pretty big rhino, actually, from the 90s. And then we had Bill Seitz, Brian Stewart, DJ Swearingen, Scott Wiggum and Josh Williams is the first term. I was actually surprised that my state rep, Reggie Stolfus, was not on this, actually. I'm a little bit pissed off by that one, honestly. So, although I think he was one of the yes votes on the floor, there is what it was on the 6th of last month. So, because, yeah, this passed out 7-5. And I'm assuming this basically with the numbers on this whole thing from both these hearings for the House favorable passage and then the House passed is most likely on party lines. So, yep, it's exactly party lines is what I thought. Yep, you had dickhead Richard Brown, Tabby Golonsky, Latoya Humphreys, Dontavius Jarrells, and Cecil Thomas, who was the biggest anti-gun sack of shit of them all, dude, all against it. And everybody else is for it then, including Jim Thomas, who's a first-term state rep. He was the one that actually beat out that cocksucker Thomas West last go-around because West was a fucking idiot anti-gunner and didn't do shit to help actually fix the problems at the Stark County Fair every year when you have literally black kids walking around with fucking guns trying to kill people during that event. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you literally have like bunch of fucking gangs of minorities going to the fucking county fair, having their shithead single mothers fucking drop them off there, or friends drop them off, whatever it was, and going and committing violence, having giant brawls and stuff, and you're going to do nothing about it, even though it's directly in your fucking district, you jackass. So, that's exactly why you're no longer a state rep, Thomas West, you fucking asshole. Anyway, continuing on this, though, of course, it was party line votes. Let's see, of course, Abdullah, one of the new Democrat terrorists that shouldn't even be in office right now because he's a fucking Islamic terrorist in the state, and also a Somali plant, voted no on this, and then it was basically literally party line votes across the board then. All R's voted yes, all D's voted no. So let's make sure that my dude was even on this one. Let's see here now. Where is his name? Was he even in office this day? Yeah, because I noticed it was 57 people and not 64, I think is what we have right now. And there's also a few less Democrats, too, so it might have been something where they were doing this and he was actually in a committee hearing at the time, whatever the case be. Yeah, because I'm not seeing Stolfus in there at all, because he should be someplace in here. And he's not there, so yeah, maybe he wasn't in office that day. You know who was in office, though? Jenna Powell, who was a really, really hot chick, honestly. So, actually, we're going to go ahead and just do a look her up, and I'll show you guys who I'm talking about. Yeah, this is one of the state reps here, who is a pro-life and 2A fighter. I think she's in her, I want to say she's in her third term now. Pretty sure Jenna's in her third term now. Of course, she's all about the 2A with her over-under. So that's one thing I always thought was interesting with all these chicks. They'll like not only just her, but like who's that one? The South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem. Like, they'll always be like, "Oh yeah, I'm so pro 2A," and then walk out there with like a shotgun and like shoot some clays and stuff. And it's like, if you really want to show me you're pro 2A, walk out with a fucking AR, man, and just blast some shit. Like, seriously, or an AK or a fucking handgun or something like that, man. I don't know, like that. Those pictures just seem very fuddish, is what I'll say on that one, dude. Like, it really does remind me of that like FUD mentality kind of thing is what it is. But yeah, she's definitely been like, I don't know if she's ever been like the forefront of 2A bills, but she'll definitely be like one of the first co-sponsors every time around, it seems like, anymore. So, but yeah, she's definitely a cool chick though. So anyway. But yeah, that being said, like I said, she's definitely a fighter for 2A and for life. So. Sorry, I was trying to look up something about this chick. Yeah, I'm not finding what I was looking for though. But anywho, one person that I'm trying to think, do I have that in here? Oh yeah, I do have that in here. Yeah, one of the people who obviously voted no on this legislation was one person we actually have as one of our icons on here, which is a piece of shit Allison Russo. This is this woman on the screen right now is the stupid cunt who chose to take a bribe from Moms Demand Action in May of 2021 during a House Oversight Committee hearing, ironically enough, for constitutional carry. So, there you go. Yeah, you're a piece of shit, Allison. You've been on our radar forever, and we're going to make sure we can do everything we can to remove your ass from office this year, whether it be primaries or whether it just be Article 1, Section 2ing your ass before the end of the year then. So, anyway. But, yeah, that 272 has a 25 sponsors so far is what it is, and then of course passed out like pretty much almost completely veto-proof legislation in the House. There's what it was. So, and then for other things we want to talk about today, for thing real quick, here's what it is. We got this one, which is basically welcome sign paired with Confederate flag sparks debate in Ohio City. So here's the problem I have with that whole thing, right? It's not even like it's whatever, dude. It's the fucking mainstream media, typical fucking mainstream media, trying to push bullshit fucking hate crap is what it is, dude. And I'm so fucking sick and tired of it, honestly. Because first of all, the Confederate flag was a battle flag used as a symbol by half the people in this fucking nation in the 1860s. Who, by the way, when you look at history, every single person involved in the First American Civil War were all American soldiers. It doesn't fucking matter. And I find it very ironic, too, by the way, how it wasn't until some fucking piece of shit who was 100% MK Ultra decided to be a good fucking little boy and go out there and do his fucking massacre in some fucking black church in Charleston, South Carolina, I think is where it was at. Which is that asshole Dylan Roof, what was it, 5-6 years ago now? 7 years ago now, something like that? During Obama's administration there. And actually might be longer now. I think it was during the end of Obama administration, right before Trump happened is what it was there. But yeah, you had that whole thing happen, and then people were all like, oh my god, the Confederate flag is a hate symbol because this guy had some of his fucking Facebook profiles and shit like that. It's like, fuck off, dude. Like, seriously, I'm so fucking sick and tired of it, man. Anyway, let's see, though. Continuing on here, it said, residents are raising concerns over Confederate flag in the city of Dayton, south of Dayton. So people told news partners at the local affiliate that not only is the flag shocking, but also the sign below it. The sign reads, welcome to Harrison, Ohio. So I drove past here every day and never, ever, ever seen anything like that, Wayne Johnson told local affiliate here. So the display also features Mayor Ryan Gibbs' name on the welcome sign. It's funny. So according to the local, whatever affiliate this is, WPCO, so Gibbs said in an email, this was brought to my attention Saturday afternoon after the family that owns the property posted a sign and put the flag up. This is not a city property or project. Yeah, and see, that's the problem right there. It's like people being like, oh my god, this is totally approved by the mayor. No, it's not, dude. It's a random fucking family that owns the damn property. And they threw up their own shit on their own they were literally exercising their fucking freedom of speech on their own goddamn property and telling you to go fuck yourself, basically what it is, dude. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit either way, dude. It's like, no, it's fucking First Amendment freedom of speech is what it is. And freedom of expression and everything else like that. So, yeah, so mayor said citizens, yeah, here we go. Mayor has said citizens have the right to free speech and chose to speak in different ways. So, well, the property owner may be within his rights. I do have a team looking into the display, is what the mayor said there. So we're looking to see if it is in violation of any of our zoning requirements. Of course, fucking government. Fuckery is what it is there, because they want to fucking scatter now what it is now. Or it is misinterpretation. It would be very easy for individuals to think that this is a city display. Said, yeah, of course. Trudy Gaba, a social justice curator, so SJW is what it really means, social justice warrior, at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center, told the local affiliate that she isn't shocked to see a Confederate flag fly in Ohio. No one fucking cares, you dumb bitch. Like, seriously. I want to see what this one looks like, because I guarantee she's some BLMer dude. 100%. See if I can find some images of this woman here. Oh, yep, exactly who you thought she was going to be, dude. Yeah, some fucking 30-something, 40-something chick there. Fucking clown-ass bitch is what it is, dude. And then her trying to look all professional in this one, obviously. She still just looks very evil in that picture, even, dude. Like, that. Actually, that picture's looking more evil, actually. We're going to be serious with ourselves, dude. It's like straight daggers in your fucking eyes, man. Like, Jesus. Anyway, yeah, it said, quote, flags represent representative of ideologies, of belief systems, she claimed. Said, told the local affiliate it does not compilate Ohio's history, considering Ohio was a free state. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot, lady, seriously. Yeah, there's her ass right there on the thing. Jesus, dude, can you look any more fucking ghetto, lady, in that fucking interview? Like, goddamn, clean yourself up a little bit and make yourself actually presentable what it is. Fuck, man. She continued on and said it begs one to question, what are we glorifying? What are we celebrating here? Confederate flag, as she claims, Confederate flag was symbolic of a desire to own people as property. No, it actually wasn't, you stupid bitch. Literally, if you actually look into the fucking actual First American Civil War in this country, not only was it about slavery, which a lot of people love to fucking put as the only thing there, it specifically was very much about actual individual rights, and specifically about government not taking shit from the fucking people is what it was, dude. It was actually about 10th Amendment rights and states' rights, for God's sakes. If you look into it, it's actually that legit thing is what it is, man. And I'd like to point something out, too, on that fact, that it was you Democrat motherfuckers, Trudy, who happened to have slaves years after the fucking Civil War happened, you dumb bitch. Not to mention the fact that when you talk about slave owners and shit in this country, it also happened to be a lot of black people that own fucking slaves themselves. Like Kamala Harris's fucking family, who owned a shitload of them in fucking Jamaica and stuff, dude. Which obviously Jamaica's not America, but even still, I'm making a point is what it is here, honestly. Like, there's history of people in our country right now that their families own slaves, basically, that were not fucking white, you know? And I also like to point out that America was the first country that abolished slavery way before any other nation ever did, you dumb bitch. Like, you want to bitch and moan about slavery, lady? Go take your ass to fucking Libya or any fucking Middle Eastern nation in this country, and here in 2024 that actually has black male slaves in it currently that are used to go out and dig fucking various cobalt and all kinds of lithium to make your little fucking EV batteries and shit like that is what it is, bitch. So, anyway. I just had all these fucking people, man. I really have, honestly. I really, really fucking have. So, yeah. And it's exactly why we're leading to another civil war in this country, dude. It really is, honestly, because people are too stupid to see the fucking truth about the first one is what it was. So, actually, on a good note, that dumb bitch that was Harvard's president, Claudia Gay, is no longer president there. Her ass got booted out after less than 6 months is what it was. And apparently people actually looked into that one and were like, hey, because she's being kicked out from plagiarism and stuff like that. It's like, did she plagiarize her final statement? It turns out, partly she did, apparently. So it's like, Jesus Christ, woman. Like, and I'm going to say it like it is, man. Honestly, when this woman, this Claudia Gay woman right here, refused to condemn the anti-Semitism going on at Harvard during those congressional hearings, she should have been tossed the fuck out of office on the spot is what it is, dude. When she was basically like, oh, no, it's fine, kind of thing. It's like, nah, bitch, no, it was not. It was not fine then, it was not fine now. And you'll notice whether it be her, whether it be that Trudy girl, whatever the case be, people bitch and moan about, like, you know, racism this, racism that. But yet, when we actually look into racism here in 2024, the amount of black supremacy in this country is off the fucking charts currently, man. Legitimately. The amount of anti-Semitism and anti-Christianity is off the fucking charts right now. So, but yeah, this one was in power for about 6 months there. Had no business even being Harvard president at all, dude. because she didn't actually have the qualifications to actually be in position as power as what it was there. But of course, why was she put in there? Diversity, equity, inclusion garbage is what it is, dude. DIE shit. CRT shit. Like they all are. Usually it's all affirmative action crap is what it is, man. So, anyway. But, yeah, that being said, the last story we talk about here for a couple minutes, it'll be, you had this one come out. I saw this first yesterday on some other person's channel, and then it was on the Clown World channel today on X here, which is guy is dating a trans person. Said here he is speaking to his best friend and tries to justify that dating a trans woman is not gay, claiming, quote, I'm not gay, I'm an alpha male attracted to femininity, and that's what I got. Now, granted, that being said, like, this person right here, you can tell was not obviously biological female, dude. Like, yeah, they've done a lot to try to pass, but they still 100% ain't passing, dude. So, but yeah, it's this fucking guy right here. This guy actually looks like a bottom, if we're going to be serious with ourselves, dude. Like, he looks like one of those power bottom type guys or whatever, dude. That's like, actually, what this guy kind of reminds me of, honestly. If somebody told me this dude was actually a trans man, I would totally buy that, actually. If it was like, this dude's a trans man, that person's a trans woman. Like, that'd be even funnier, honestly. Because I can totally see that. Because I like, with Buck Angel and stuff like that, and other people similar to that, I've seen folks like that that look very much like this guy right here, that are obviously biological females that have done as much as they can to go and try to become a biological male or pass as close to it as what it is there. And the thing is, like, the whole, femininity thing is what it is. Like, that dude actually is speaking truth on that one. And I think that's what you've seen a lot with people anymore that are just disaffected is what it is in this country, where you have a lot of these people that actually do want to be like the quote unquote like trans women or just like women basically is what it is. Obviously they were born biologically male, but they want to be as female as possible is what it is. And so they'll try to be as feminine as possible. They'll try to, if they have to spend thousands of dollars to do it, they'll do that stuff. And they'll attempt to basically, transform themselves, at least, appearance from like face to, midsection as that of a female, obviously downstairs, probably still a dick there is my guess. But yeah, for the most part, like they'll do enough to try to pass at least, outward appearing is what it is with clothes on, obviously. And then you have these other people out there that are just like basically the mockery of the whole thing, where they're just like, oh no, I'm a trans woman, but it's like some fucking guy walking around with like big ass beard like mine and being like, I'm just gonna go to the women's bathroom now, kind of thing is what it is there, man. It's like, nah, bitch, go fuck yourself, kind of thing. And that's really the problem entirely with everything going on right now. I think you have these people that actually do want to, experience something elsewhere. And then you have other people that are just trying to basically fuck with them is what it is. And like I said before on this channel in the past, like there's definitely a lot of differences of people when it comes to, passability. And unfortunately, when it comes to, biological males wanting to be females, what it is now, the voice, once you have that puberty and your voice drops and stuff like that, it's almost impossible to ever, pass as female completely is what it is there. Now, granted, does that mean we should put kids on puberty blockers? Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Across the board, dude. And it's as simple as that, really. One thing I do want to talk about, too, by this whole thing, actually, was, and this is something I want to call the Fake Domestic Violence Act of 2024, which would be for pieces of shit like this woman that we're going to talk about here momentarily, where you have... and this kind of branches off to what we were talking about earlier here is what it is. You have this chick here admits in a podcast that she faked her bruises to get her boyfriend in trouble with cops and get his kids taken away from him. This is the kind of shit of exactly why we need to have those fake domestic violence act laws on the books right now, dude. And what I mean by that is if you're gonna sit there and fake that shit and then later admit to it or whatever the case be, or it can be like, investigation can be launched or whatever the case be and prove that you did the shit yourself, whatever the case be, because you're trying to fuck over some guy's life. Guess what, bitch? You're now catching 10 to 15 years in prison instead, ho. And you're now a multi-time felon, you fucking cunt. It's time for father's rights. It's time for dad's rights, etc. to be a thing on the book again now, dude. And the thing is, I've seen shit like this, not just from hoes like that right there, but from many other females across the country over the last decade plus now. Hell, you had one of them happen here recently. It was in the last couple of years, actually, with Ezekiel Elliott, the guy who used to play for Ohio State. It was some chick there, and this was when he first became, I want to see, he got drafted by the Cowboys or something in the draft like a few years back now is what it was. And he had some chick who was basically trying to fuck with his life. And there was text of her and her friend going back and forth, and her friend's like, oh, you should totally fuck this guy over to get a bunch of money off him is what it is. And basically admitting to extorting his ass is what it was. To basically say, oh, he hit you. He didn't do shit to her is what it was, dude. And it fucked with his life in the pros for years is what it was there. And it cost him a ton of money in fucking court fees and lawyer fees and everything else like that, dude. And for nothing. Because she was trying to fuck this dude over entirely. It's just fucked up, man. It really is, honestly. One other thing I wanted to talk about, too, was this particular thing that popped up in my feed from TikTok yesterday, which was, and this goes back to the whole trans thing, said, this was from Boston, Massachusetts. I received this from a follower. This is a music venue in Boston. Said, if you are a man in the bathroom and your daughter... If you see a man in the bathroom with your daughter and it makes you uncomfortable, you're the problem. And as the sign here says, if you're using this restroom and you think a person's gender doesn't match the sign on the door, follow these steps. Number 1, don't worry about it. They know better than you. And this was a Roadrunner, Boston, Mass. So 2 things here. They need to get their fucking asses sued out of existence right now. And so does that fucking bitch, Michelle Wu, who is the fucking mayor of Boston right now, dude. For allowing this kind of crap in that city. You literally have people allowing child molestation going on in this fucking in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, dude. And in the state of Massachusetts entirely on that one. It's just fucking insane, dude, is what it is. I'm like so sick and tired of it, dude. And again, like there's a huge difference between someone who can pass for biological female or whatever the case be, and somebody who walks in, like I said, looking like my ass. And it's like, oh no, I'm a woman, bro. Like, no, you're not, dude. You're literally trying to creep on children is what it is, you sick fuck. And that's the problem right there. And like I said, going back to this thing right here between these 2 individuals, though, you have this dude basically wanting to do whatever there in his life, and you have this person wanting to be as close to biological female as possible, and they want to have a relationship with each other. And good for them, honestly. Like, they found love, so what? So be it, honestly, dude. You know? Doesn't make you gay to date some trans person? That's up to the individual, honestly, in my opinion. Like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, honestly. So, hell, there's even like trans porn stars out there that have said in the past, like, there's like this weird, it's like a weird fetish for some people is what it is, dude. So, you know, who's to say, honestly. But, you know, for me personally, like I said, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, as long as you're, the way I feel about it is as long as you're both consenting adults, it really doesn't fucking matter, honestly. And actually going back to, trans people, this is something that just popped in my feed a minute ago here, which is, I want to say this person's name is Kelly Kerrigan or something like that. They've basically been sort of like, left, not left, and then left again, it seems like. And as Ian Miles Chong pointed out here, he said, man doesn't care about women feeling, how women feel when he invades their spaces. And as this person said, this Kelly here said, it was TERFs say if I use the women's bathroom, I'm invading women's spaces. Which is kind of funny because they were actually trying to, you know, live their life as a biological female for a while now and stuff. And the thing is, like, looking at that person legitimately, like, just on set or whatever, like, obviously they have, you know, the face is still a little bit masculine, obviously, but, like, for the most part, like, I could, like, just, well, at a glance, I would see them, you know, as a female, honestly, or at least looking like they should be a female or whatever the case be. But yeah, so they walked into a movie theater area. They found a family bathroom, not using the family bathroom, going straight to the women's bathroom instead. So, again, it doesn't matter. I mean, personally, I would, like, for me as a guy, I would use the fucking family bathroom in those places just because it's usually like a single stall is what it is, man. And for me, I don't like to be around people for the most part when I'm taking a shit or a piss or whatever the case be. And so, yeah, if I'm going to go someplace and there's like a family bathroom there that's unoccupied, I'm going to take my fat ass into the fucking, that bathroom is what it is and use that one, which I did that quite a bit when I was at, I used to play MTG at local malls, what it was before that got torn down and replaced with something else. Now is what it is. But yeah, they used to have a family bathroom in that place. And really it was an issue where the men's room was not that great is what it was. And it was very cramped. They didn't really have a handicap space at all. And is what it was there. Whereas the family bathroom, you open the fucking door and it's just like one small room, or you have a sink on one side, a toilet on the other side, and there's just like this big open space is what it is there. So yeah, I would tend to go to that one if it was unoccupied then. And that's just me personally. So yeah, I feel like that Kelly person though is definitely like they're just trying to start some shit is what it is, man. And trying to be like, oh, but I should totally be allowed to because I look like a biological female kind of shit or whatever the case be. So I don't know, man. I followed that person for a little bit here on Twitter and stuff like that, like the last year or two is what it was. And I know that they were like sort of hard left, and then they sort of went like middle of the road is what it was to like be like, no, but I'm on your guy's side kind of thing. And then it turns out they just went like hard left again is what it is now. It seems like they took that like U-turn back ways is what it was then. So I don't know. It's kind of funny, man. But yeah. I really dislike the term TERF though, because it's supposed to be like was it trans exclusionary radical feminist or something? I think is what the left came up with. There is what it was. It's like the same thing with incel, by the way. Like it's all a bunch of leftist ideology bullshit terminology came with. It's the same thing like cisgender for God's sakes. It's like no, it's a fucking slur against straight people is what it is, dude, or at least people that are like mostly straight anyway. So. Yeah, you're just trying to slander straight people is what it is, or just regular everyday Americans is what it would be then, or just everyday people is what it would be then. So anyway. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay, going back to the trans stuff, there's this one right here.
Men get pregnant.
Mr. Chairman? Yes.
Define what a woman is.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
There are people who identify as different genders who are capable of getting pregnant. That is my position on this. I am not going to feed more into the bigotry of that question.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And again, this is why we have to have these debates. This is why we have to have that kind of stuff, dude, because of nutcases like this fucking female here, dude, is what it is. Trying to be like, oh, it's bigotry to claim that men can't get pregnant. They can't, you dumb bitch. Legitimately, biologically, they can't. It's, you have a woman who is acting like she is a man, but yet if I, as an actual biological male, were to come inside her pussy, I could fertilize the eggs inside of her womb, and she could be pregnant with my child. And it's as simple as that, really. Now, granted, when you have people that look like Buck Angel that go like full trans, man, is what I'm calling that one, dude, that there's really no distincting them except for, the genitalia at that point of a biological male. Like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good on that whole thing, man. So, like, when you got some dudes like, six, like, actually, let me go ahead and show this, this short clip here is what it is. I'm just gonna, because this is obviously a guy, but like, you guys want, I'm gonna do an example. Here's what it is. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if I saw some dude like this, and then it turned out like you pull down their fucking pants and there's like a vagina there, it's like, yeah, I'm not sexually attracted to that, man. And it's as simple as that, really. So, it is what it is. But then, like I said, you go back to that Kelly person who, for the most part has done what he, she, they can to look biologically female and, get breast implants and everything else like that. Like, yeah, I'd look at that person at a glance and be like, that's a good looking chick, and it's as simple as that, really, is what it is. So, and that's my personal thing about it, is what it is, man. So, anyway, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think we all just need to chill the fuck out in this country, is what it is, man. And the people are adults and want to live their life in whatever way they want to live their life. They want to have relationships with people of the same technical sex that are all over the age 18, obviously. Like, let them. You know, don't fucking whatever with those people. Don't, you know, fuck with them is what it is, man. So, now granted, that being said, when you get fucking weird motherfuckers on these dating apps and stuff, like this individual here, and then they're trying to do like some waifu shit, which, not even gonna lie, dude, like those are some big ass tits on that fucking anime. Yeah, this Lawrence27 here says, must read, any female wanting to swipe right must meet the following criteria. You must be between 5'1" and 5'5", no exceptions. Must weigh no more than 110 pounds, no exceptions. Must fit enough to hold me, but no visible muscle tone. Wait. Must be fit enough to hold them. That's weird. But no muscle tone. Let's see. The anime girl in the second photo is a reference, so you don't look like her. Swipe left. No religious people. Want to raise intelligent children and can't sacrifice my seed to someone delusional enough to believe in a so-called God. Jesus, what a fucking asswipe, dude. Tell me this person doesn't look like super fat Kyle Rittenhouse, though, man. Like in that face and shit. Like they kind of do, actually. Like it looks like somebody like ate Kyle Rittenhouse and they like took on his DNA, basically, is what it was. Jesus. Yeah, and this person said in the comments, said, must read, stop reading there. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's just fucking insane, dude. Like, and that's the thing. And again, going back to what, you know, the left would describe like incel behavior, whatever the case be, or making up terminology is what it is for these people. Like, that's the people that they're talking about there, man, like this Lawrence person. Because they expect like a bunch of stuff and like, you know, some except like basically the perfect female, basically is what they're looking at for, is what it is there. And yet they themselves are not willing to actually put in the time and the work and the effort to actually make themselves look better, is what it is then. Whether it be, you know, muscular or, you know, fit or anything else like that's what it is. So, but anywho. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit either way, man. And I think that's the sad part of our society right now is that people want to definitely do crazy, crazy shit. And, you know, what you call is what it is also. So, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this video, which I thought was kind of funny. This is actually a chick here explaining, like, dudes with huge dicks, basically. And she pulls out the thing of, like, the 12-inch scale or whatever the case be. And it's like, yeah, most chicks ain't going to be able to take on that. It's going to be, like, the first couple inches or maybe, like, the first half or whatever the case be, and the rest is just flopping around. Yeah. And then she goes on to talk about it, and she's like, what is that, 4 or 5 inches? Completely fine. A little bit more. Fine. Almost too big. Definitely too big. Sick day. 27 club. Skipping the next life, etc. when you're getting up to like a 12-inch dick size. So, yeah, it's just funny. But yeah, that chick is kind of funny though, man. Not sure who she is, but I do find that to be a hilarious deal. Is what it is, man. Well, looks like the old guy had a death wish today. I'm not going to show that, obviously, because it's an old man getting dragged by a fucking lion. Probably got eaten after that, I'm guessing. Oh, okay, that got cute. Okay, I thought this was going to be some weird cop thing, and then it turned out it was like a cop with a dog, is what it was. So, yeah, we're gonna watch this for a minute here.
That's right.
So you got a happy birthday thing the cop putting on. A couple of donuts. And the pupper with its own happy birthday hat on.
Pull them out. Pull them out. Pull this one. Good. Oh.
Feeding the dog some donuts. Oh, that's gross, man. That ain't right. That dog really wants to rest that donut, man. This is why I don't have animals, by the way.
Those noises. Oh, hey.
Man, that dog's biting that dude's face pretty much with that donut.
No, happy birthday. Happy birthday. No more. Oh, that's gross. Yeah, one more bite. Hey, one more bite. That's it. No. That's enough. I gotta clean the car now.
Mhm.
Now I gotta clean the car.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Not gonna lie. Yeah, as much as I'm not a fan of cops, I do like stuff like that, honestly. Because sometimes they can be good guys, is what it is, with the puppers and stuff. So. Well, that's creepy. Huh. People were talking about that Obama World Left Behind movie having extra audio files in it. It's disturbing. Yeah, who knows, man. Let's see, where was I at now? Trying to see if there's anything else worth talking about here or not. Liberalism is a disease, not just a phrase. Actual proof liberalism is a disease. You had some chick fucking freaking out in the Walmart is what it was there with the mask still on in 2000. I'm guessing that was last year, so 2023 then. So, yeah, I'm gonna post this one to the X account there where it's a fat monkey eating mangoes near a stream. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. And of course, you got Chris Christie says that Nikki Haley is not running for president. She's running for Trump's VP. Yeah, pretty much impossible to do when Trump's already hanging out with Ben Carson, you stupid bitch. So, actually going back to the our society and like sort of like the high trust society, low trust society is what it is here. So, I saw this video the first time like a couple years ago is what it was. I think maybe 2022 or so. And it was a nice gesture that this dude was doing. It was a couple of baskets of food and a bunch of like, it looks like milk of some kind on top there is what it is. And it was, if you're in need of food, please take, stuff's free is what it is. And so you have a couple people come by, they'll grab a jar or something or whatever the case be. And then, of course, this second woman here actually put a bag of her own stuff down there. And then so does somebody else for that matter, because they're like, oh, let me just add to the pile or whatever it is there, doing what's good. A couple of dude walking by and getting rolling by because he had, in a wheelchair, there's what it was. Just grabbing a couple loaves of bread that they need for, some food, what it is. And then, somebody else grabbing like one or two things here and there and stuff. This guy grabbing a couple things or whatever then. And just being like, thanks. Kind of thing. And then you got these two fucking assholes who come around, obviously don't need the shit, by the way, but yet they're like, oh, free stuff? Okay, let's just take the free shit. Take it all. Take literally everything that they can and walk off and laugh about it. And this is exactly why our country is going to hell right now, dude, in a handbasket, is because of pieces of shit like that, honestly. Like, damn well you don't need fucking shit, bitch. And you're going to take it anyway. It's like the same assholes who during Halloween and stuff like that will go to houses and be like, oh, they're giving out free candy bars. And it literally says, please take one. And they'll just take them all. And then you wonder why people get pissed. It's just so infuriating, man. It really is. And it's exactly why we've led to a decline in this country's history so fast, is what it is. So, anyway. But that's pretty much over the day. I'm going to go do a couple things and then probably take a nap for a little while. Sorry, I got distracted by that redheaded libertarian chick. Like a Trump outfit. She's pretty hot, actually. She's not a 10 for sure though, but like she's definitely a good looking female, honestly. So this girl here is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'd say she's probably maybe like a 5 or a 6 in the face, honestly. And like the body is probably around the same, maybe like a 7 or so. But yeah, she's still a decent looking chick, obviously. So oh fuck. Jesus. Apparently, I'm gonna go ahead and post that one to the account there, but I'm not gonna show it on the camera, obviously, because it has to do with like people being shot at, is what it is. But yeah, it's people like hanging out the fucking hood, just chilling, and all of a sudden, fucking gunshots start ringing out like crazy. It's like Jesus, dude. That's what. This is what we gotta leave off today, honestly, right now. Is this one here, which is Portland poop crisis triggers bacteria outbreak normally found in the third world. Fucking Christ, dude. And this is why we don't bring illegal aliens to this country, dude, because they're bringing in all kinds of fucking disease with them that does not exist here in America, for God's sakes. Fucking hell, bro. This is why you have leprosy in our country again. This is why you have fucking smallpox coming back into America. This is why you have goddamn plague in the past 5 to 6 years now. Coming over our border system is what it is, dude. Like, this is shit that's been eradicated in this country for fucking decades. And yet these pieces of shit from fucking who the hell knows where at this point, Middle East, Africa, fucking various Central American countries, etc., are bringing this crap back to our fucking borders, dude. Like, enough is enough of this shit, man. Seriously. This one's actually kind of, I think we've got to leave this off on a good note, because unfortunately I like to leave this shit off on a bad note. So we'll go to this one for a second here, which is kitten adopts human. Just meowing its way up. And then just crawls right up the leg. It's like, pick me up, human, pick me up. And that's when you pick them up and you name them Jinx. And that's basically where we're at today. So anyway, but yeah, have a good one, y'all. I'll be back for real tomorrow with another episode of Buckshot Thursday, where we discuss a bunch of 2A stuff. Hopefully Corey will join us then, since he's back to being no longer with his son in the house anymore, because to my understanding, I guess the kid went back to living where for the time back here this year at some point. It will be then back to Texas then, for actually being in Corey's care for good then. But oh Jesus, someone's only in Russian. It's only a guy brushing a bear's teeth. Seems like a good way to get eaten, man. Although, to be fair, I mean, if he's had that bear since it was a cub, like, it probably recognizes him as a human, if that be the case then. Because I know that there is, like, that weird shit with animals where it's, like, they'll sort of ingrain on you is what it is then. And it might just be, like, someday they like, you sort of slip up or whatever the case be, and that's when they'll go, like, full primal on your ass or whatever. But, like, for the most part, like, yeah, they're just domesticated animals, dude. It's just, like, a big dog, basically, at that point. Just happens to be a fucking gigantic-ass bear in your house. So, it's just like people that have, like, tigers and shit, man, or, like, lions or whatever. So... And yeah, they just raise these things from cubs and stuff, and then the cub just simply, ingrains on them as their human and is like cool with them is what it is then. And as long as they keep it well fed, it's good to go, man. So, but anyway, ooh, Actually, when I said leave this off on a good thing, actually, we'll leave it off on this one right now because this is even better. As of 22 minutes ago, House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green speaks from the border about announcing an impeachment hearing against Melanakis next week. Said greatest domestic threat to the national security and the safety of the American people is Secretary Andrew Melanakis. Yes, he is, man. Yes, he is. Good. It's about fucking time, dude.
With the domestic threats to this nation.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that, but it's also just like having like any piece of our border be open at this point. Like that's the real problem entirely, dude. And then you wonder why you have Islamic terrorism coming over in sleeper cells every single day right now. You wonder why you have Chinese sleeper cells coming over every single day right now, in various numbers, etc., etc., etc. Like, yeah, it's all bad shit, man. And it needs to stop, and it only will stop when we fucking physically stop it with walls and barricades and shit, and forcing these people to basically, fuck around and find out is what it is. I mean, if they want to fuck around, they need to find out is what it is. And if they're not going to fucking find out, they're going to keep fucking around and keep fucking off and everything else like that. And then you wonder why our country goes to shit then. Like, it's not that hard to figure out, man. It's really that simple, honestly. So, anyway. But yeah, that being said, that's where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And so I'm going to answer this question because it was asked. So the answer to that question is you probably are sterile, actually, because you would be technically what is described as a hermaphrodite. And I don't believe those people can actually get pregnant because it's something weird in their hormone structure where they have like both sets of genitalia in some aspect or another. And I want to say it's something where it's physically impossible for them to get pregnant because you have like, it's like internal testes or something like that. So, but anyway, it's a whole fucking thing, man. It's really weird. I don't like to get into that kind of shit, honestly. It just gets because it gets too fucking weird too fucking quick is what it is, man. And it's as simple as that, really. But anyway, yeah, that being said, though, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be back tomorrow for Buckshot Thursday. If anybody wants to be on the panel, hit me up in the Discord and I will send you a link. And if you don't want to be on the panel, well, that's on you. So, and again, it's on you if you want to be on the panel or not, dude. Like, if you want to be on the panel, again, DM my ass and I'll send you the link. Otherwise, don't bitch about not being on the panel, what it is. So, anyway. But, yeah, hopefully Corey will be back with us tomorrow and whoever else wants to pop on potentially. And then we'll discuss some 2A related stuff and whatnot and go from there, basically. But, yeah, other than that, though, that's where we're at for today. It's awesome to see that Ohio constitutional carry has actually made this state more safe and has had gun crime be way reduced in the state because of that, obviously, which makes logical sense. And I've said this before, it made logical sense for it to be that way because I pretty much called this when we were fighting for it, honestly. And when I was personally calling up state reps and stuff like that, state senators to be like, hey, get this passed, get this into DeWine's desk, make sure he signs it, et cetera, et cetera. And if he doesn't sign it, override the veto, et cetera, dude. And it was a situation there where I was specifically saying, like, yeah, this is going to reduce, gun crime in the state because you're going to have people not be hit with BS charges and not become felons. And this is why you should have rights restoration in this legislation, too, for that matter. But they didn't put that in there is what it is. And that's the problem right now, dude. When you usually almost always when you have one of these people that'll actually like write the stuff themselves or pretty close to like, whoever writes it for them. And then it's like them like revising it or whatever, then they'll never add stuff to it. It's only when a group like mine would actually come to them and be like, hey, here's a piece of legislation that we wrote for you guys to introduce and pass, is when it'll actually stay in that form or when it'll actually be maybe like a little bit tweaked, but it'll still be pretty close to that's what it is then. So anyway, I actually got into it with my sister recently about that whole thing because she was talking about like, oh, there's no piece of legislation that passes from like interpretation to exactly what it wants to be at the end. That's like bullshit. There's not. Red flag laws are fucking one of them, dude. They always start out as stealing people's gun rights and fucking over their, First to 14th Amendment rights, basically. And they always fucking remain intact is what it is, dude. They never watered down. They never fucking, be like, oh, maybe it's a good idea to not have, I don't know, fucking bullshit backdoor hearings. People ain't even involved in them and stuff like that, dude. So, yeah, it's a bunch of crap entirely, man. And the same thing with like safe storage laws and fucking all kinds of other anti-gun bullshit. Those always pass as they're fucking written. They never get watered down. They never get changed around. They never get, less worse. If anything, they get more worse the longer they go in the fucking General Assemblies is what it is then, man. So anyway, but yeah, that being said, that's where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all in the next one. And have a very merry New Year. And, live your life to the fullest is what it is, man. Love who you want to love. As long as you are both consenting adults, everything is cool, bro. It's only when you're not that things become fucking, time to go, bro, kind of thing. So, anyway, but yeah, either way, though, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, y'all. Later.